Wednesday, the 18th of June 2025. The forecast said the thermals could be good by 12 o'clock, so I got to the hill for 11. My plan was to fly as far as I could, as usual. There were 2 other paragliders there waiting. I had a nice chat with Ben Friedland and then went flying. There were thermals and I stayed up occasionally, but then landed on the side. I did plenty of nice launches. When there was some wind up the hill, I used it to pull me up the hill. I still need to work on cross-hand kiting. I'm still using the brakes in a way that means I have to let go of the brakes to turn around, and this is dangerous. It caused me to lay the wing onto the rocks on one occasion.
Oh dear.
It caused me to fall over on another occasion, which could be worse one day if I don't learn the right skills. Anyway, after about 2.5 hours of messing about, I found a thermal to leave the hill with. It wasn't particularly strong. At one point I left it to look for a better climb, but came back to it again. When it fizzled out at 1300 metres, I looked into wind for it, thinking I had fallen out of the downwind side of it, but I can tell from the flight log that the thermal had gone as high as it was going to go.
Doesn't want to go west, does it? Doesn't like going west, or maybe it's northwest. So head southeast for a bit. Or east.
I glided off downwind. I found a little thermal over the River Severn. It wasn't the best, but what I am proud of on this flight was that I stayed with any lift, however poor it was, so long as I was on average not going down. When this one fizzled out, and I was sure that I wasn't staying up anymore, I searched around, deciding to head to the downwind side of Kemsey. I found a little something here, but when I lost it, I headed downwind. Things were not looking good. As I was just ready to turn into wind for a landing, I found something. I shifted off downwind a little, and it was good enough to climb in. I circled in this thermal, averaging 0.5 meters per second climb rates for over half an hour, doing 100 circles. It was so tempting to leave and look for something better, but I think I did exactly the right thing and ended up gaining over 1,000 meters of altitude. Such a precious commodity when you have no engine. I glided off towards the landfill site near Pershore, where hundreds of seagulls were gliding above a field. They were great at showing me where the lift was, and I got to my highest point of the flight at 1,559 metres.
Yes! 15 something!
I headed off towards Evesham and found some little bits of lift, and then some better thermals. As I approached Meon Vale, I found some lift that barely kept me up, but I was gradually climbing again. My camera ran out of SD card here, as I had not got round to deleting the files from the previous flight. I spent ages circling in light lift again over Lower Quinton. There was another glide down, some more mincing, more gliding, a really good thermal, a glide, more mincing, and glide down to land in a park in Banbury. It was quite windy and turbulent on landing, but I landed okay. It was so sunny, even though it was after 5 o'clock, so I was pleased I could carry my paraglider to the shade of the trees at the edge of the park. I got a train to Oxford, a train to Worcester, and a train to Malvern Link, where I was picked up by my wife and daughter. I was happy that I had done the best I could. I think I flew the furthest of anyone from Malvern. I noticed that Ben Dry flew over 80 kilometres from the Long Mynd, and several pilots flew far from Bradwell, including virtually 200 kilometres by Mark Busby. I had flown 69 kilometres.